I admire your courage for wanting to get even more wins. So here's what you need to do. First, you need to buy the conductor class. I'm pretty sure it costs like 50 bonds. Once you buy the conductor class, you can use any train. I recommend default. You don't want to use armor because you're trying to get more wins as fast as possible. Also, if you don't have enough bonds to purchase the conductor class, watch my previous video on how to get your first win quickly. It basically gives you a pretty well detailed explanation on how to get some nice quick wins, because you get about at least 10 bonds, and there's another 10 bonds at the end of the game. Alright, collect the coal here, load it in really quickly. Whoops, hold on. I don't want to use the game pass items because we're just gonna focus on strictly using just the conductor class. The only game pass I will use is the sack, but it doesn't really make much of a difference because, you know, it's just 5 extra items. So I'm gonna drop that revolver ammo. We're gonna avoid using any of the class items. Since we do start out with fuel, get yourself a shotgun and some shotgun ammo. You want to buy that. Because you start out with 2 pieces of coal, there's really no need for you to buy coal.
Stupid.
I wasn't braining there for a moment. Alright, let's hop on this train. And same strategy. If you watch my previous video, you have a good idea. You just want to head straight to the town. Ignore all single homes. So I'll see you guys at the first town. Alright, so here we are at the first town. Don't know how he survived that. So very limited on ammo here. You want to try to just rob you want to rob the necessities as quick as possible. This bank right here, for example. Where's the beer guy? He's not there. Running pretty low on ammo because you don't have any melee weapons. So if you run out of ammo, you're cooked. Dang, I might be cooked. I can't find no beer guy. Oh, there he is. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes RNG can really screw you over. Because if he was right here, I wouldn't have to waste all that ammo. But it's alright. We got 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Now I gotta be really careful because if there's a zombie in here, I might be cooked. Okay, I got lucky. They beat me up pretty bad. I'm gonna check the doctor's place to see if I can find any bandages. Alright, was able to find 3 of them. And again, don't forget to take some of their body as fuel. And that's it. Now you just head straight to the first outpost. I'll see y'all there. I see we got a really early fort. It's probably the earliest I ever seen fort, right just before hitting 10k. My first time ever seeing a fort before 10k. But you want to ignore side places to raid like castle, fort, sterling, and a lab. It's not really worth it. I might consider messing with the lab, but only just to grab the brain to sell for 250. But I'm gonna keep it real with you. Unless you encounter the lab at 10k, there's really no point in raiding it. Your goal is just to beat the game. So just focus on beating the game. So now that we got some money by robbing 1 bank, again, just 1 bank. Sometimes you may get 2 at the first town, but it isn't really necessary. You just only need 1. And you want to get here before dark. That way you don't have to deal with the extra zombies because you're very limited on ammo. Alright, all geared up. Probably should have sold my shotgun, but it's alright. Head to the general store. Same strategies when you're not using any class. You just want to buy coal. And that's it. You're all set. Fuel up your train if necessary. And make your way to the second town. It should be daylight by the time you reach the second town, unless you raid the first town really early. Alright, so this is lucky but unlucky. I got a really large town as my second town. As you see, it's about to be morning. It's 4 a.m. Take a last stand, fight off the zombies that's gonna spawn near your spot. They could come from anywhere, so you gotta be careful. First night is always a zombie night, so it's one of the easiest nights to take on. Alright, it's daylight. Alright, so we're just gonna immediately try to loot a bank. Take advantage of the piercing effect too with the guns. It's really gonna help you out in these towns. And again, always check your surroundings. Unless you're using zombie class, these guys can see you a million miles away. Alright, gotta find the beer guy. I don't know where he's at. I don't see him anywhere. Again, if you get really unlucky, you're gonna have a hard time. So it looks like I found some diamondite here. If I can find a torch, I can just blow the vault open without having to worry about finding the beer guy. If you're really skilled, you can also lure that diamondite zombie near the vault. Okay, so if I got really lucky, yes I did. I can't believe I actually pulled it off. And the beer guy was in here. I'm so glad I got that on video, because that's like an advanced tactic right there. It is pretty simple, but it's not as easy as it looks, because you have to also consider the fact of all the zombies that's around the area that you can get ambushed. Like by this ironclad here. He seems slow enough. I don't think he's going to catch up to me. Alright, second outpost. Again, sell all the stuff you got from there. Now, I'm pretty good on ammo. 50 rifle ammo is enough to take out the enemies at the last outpost, because there's always going to be rifle ammo in there. You just want to head straight to the general store when you're at the second outpost. As a conductor, from 0 meters to finish, you only need about like 16 pieces of coal, but you start out with 2, so you're actually alright. Because every 4 coal is like 20k meters. So now you just head straight to the end. I'm going to see you guys at the final outpost. But we're going to pull this here. Again, I recommend you scout out the area first, because if you don't pay attention to your surroundings, you will die. I just got lucky enough that they weren't aimbody. And again, you don't have to do this like how I did it. At the end, you can loot the houses first if you want to, because there are bonds in here. You're going to at least get about 10. And as I told you, plenty of rifle ammo. That's why you don't really need to worry about buying ammo. Whoa, that triple kill was smooth. There we go. That's it. Usually around the 50 or 40-second mark, you usually cleared the wave. And that's how easy it is to get even more wins in Dead Rails. It is really not that hard. If I can do it, y'all can do it too. And look, I'm at 30 minutes as of in this recording. So technically this took me less than 30 minutes. So you're getting 2 wins per hour, 50 bonds an hour. And then of course the 2 banks you raid is going to have bonds in it as well. So you're technically getting between 25 to 70. But GG's. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up and subscribe for more tips and tricks.